If you ever had an interaction that did not go well, this video is right for you because today I'm going to focus on some of the common ways that you destroy your interaction and maybe even relationship in the long term. Okay, if this sounds interesting, let's get right into it. In a healthy interaction, you would positively respond to the person's try to connect with you, whether it's emotional or physical or verbal. When the person smiles at you, you would reply in the same way, smile back. When they say something to you, you would say something back, and that should be positive, right? So that's the good situation, right? That's the right way of how interaction should go. However, we often experience situations when we are in a conflict with a person. So, the two most common ways people respond to somebody's try to connect with them during the conflict or some sort of negative situation are either ignoring the person or turning against them. Those are the two common ways. Okay, so when the person ignores you, they simply don't do anything, they don't reply in any way. If you say something to them, they will stay quiet. If you point something out, they won't even look at it. That's when they ignore you, and in most cases, when they ignore you many times, you simply stop trying to make a connection. Alright, so that's the first way. And the second way is when the person turns against. So let me give you an example. When you walk with somebody on the street and you say, hey, that's a nice house, I would buy one of those one day. And the person might say, on your salary, keep dreaming. You won't ever be able to afford it, right? They turn against you because you want to do something and they do not support you in any way. All right, so they turn against you. That also ruins your interactions because we do not want people to turn against us. We want people to support us because otherwise why would we interact with them? Okay, so those are the two ways that really destroy your relationship because you really start you really weaken it in a way that you don't really connect with the person and you don't really support each other, and that just leads to complete separation in the long term, possibly, right, if you do not fix it. But I suggest you to fix it right away. Just don't even allow it to go that far so that you will disconnect, right? So again, in a situation when you are in a conflict, you should try to be natural. When the person tries to connect with you, do not reply negatively, do not turn against them, or do not ignore them either. Just keep it at a basic level that will not offend anybody and that will as well keep their interaction going. So you should really try to say something neutral that will not have any negative impact on what already has happened. Alright, so when there is a conflict, your task is not to keep it going. Oftentimes, people just keep their conflicts going and they are doing it by themselves. So the only person whom they could blame is themselves because they caused the conflict. Alright, now I suggest you to avoid causing the conflict, so stay neutral and do not allow your emotions to get into the interaction, because if you are angry at somebody and you really just show all of the angriness that you have, that's gonna spoil your interaction, just ruin it, just destroy it completely. So keep those emotions away from the interaction, at least just for the time of when you are communicating with the person, right? Just try to stay connected with the person. Maybe you won't be as connected as you always are in a normal state, but just don't break the connection completely. Okay, if you can use humor in those situations, that's also great, because that's probably the best way to turn conflicts into something funny, right? When you make a joke during the conflict, again, it should not offend the person, but if you can make the situation look absurd and funny, that's an awesome way to just put a period in front of the conflict that has been going on. All right, so if you can use humor, do it. If you cannot, just try to stay neutral. Don't keep it going. Do not keep the conflict between you and the person getting even bigger. Do not do so, because then it will be getting only more and more of a problem, and it will be a lot harder to fix it, right? You might actually destroy the relationship completely. So try to do those things. They are not easy, and you will need to practice for some time, but if you can do that, your conflicts will not ruin your interactions and relationships. And that's exactly what you want when you know that the person is not an enemy for you, they are your friend, but there is just some kind of conflict, okay? Alright guys, if this was useful, please drop a like, subscribe to this channel, and as always, see you in the next video.